So welcome back, guys, for the new episode of our series here with Fernando.
Ciao, carissima.
Ciao, caro Fernando. How are you?
I am fine, and you?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm looking forward.
This is the last video of the metaphors.
Exactly, and we're gonna talk about the diamond suit, which is very interesting because it's kind of different from the others.
Yes.
And yeah, the interpretation isn't that straightforward. It takes a little bit more effort, I would say, and ingenious of the mind, because whatever is diamond, it is something concrete, where with spades, hearts, and clubs, we were talking about something that happens within us, while with diamonds, we talk about something that is concrete. Okay, something of value, something concrete, and this forces us into understanding creation in its materialistic sense, in its material formation. So it's a little different, at least for me, and we are clubs, so we will challenge our intuition.
And not only that, everything ends in the floor, you know. The
Yes,
fruits in the hearts, the three in the spades, and the leaves on the clubs end in the ground in the number 4 suit. And in the number 4 suit, you kind of have all the suits together. And as you said, it's concrete.
yeah.
It's basically skills, it's value, it's material matters. It is a very kapha in terms of a dosha. It's a very kapha suit, and through it we build everything upon it.
Yeah. Shall we then?
Yeah, rock and roll.
Move it onto this. Okay, tell me when you see.
Perfect.
We got it. Okay. So we have this. We start with the. I should have placed an ace for the number 1. Okay, so ace of diamonds. We see that we simply have a plot of land. That's the image that is given for the ace of spade or ace of diamonds. So
Definitely.
yeah, it's a great opportunity for something to come because the land is there. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you finished?
Oh, I was.
Oh yeah, sure. You know, the number 1 is basically, you know, the beginning, the birth, and the potential of material matters, of our skills, of our value. And in the number 1, you see a plot of land, a dry land, where there is potential. You know, there is a tabula rasa upon which you can build whatever you want.
Yeah.
And this is what we see here. It's a dry plot of land. It can be a mall. It could be a house. It could be a field of bananas. It could be a field of, you know, coconut trees, palm trees. It could be anything you want. And that's what we have here. It's the potential to develop value, to develop skills from a material point of view.
That then is going to need to be discovered what it's made for, because
Definitely.
not every plot of land can grow anything. So it has all the minerals, all the nutrients, but what is it for? Is it ready? Not yet. It needs development. It needs all the phases through ace to 9. Okay, we're gonna find out what it can grow a bit sooner than that. But
and then we go to the 2, where that dry plot of land, that ugly looking plot of land, you know, starts to really come into being through the magic of water.
exactly.
You know, and here the plot of land comes together, achieves, you know, richness through that encounter with water, just like the flower met the butterfly or the bee in the 2 of hearts. In the 2 of diamonds, water and earth, which are 2 elements, are coming together to form that, to bring forward that potential to a new stage of development. And this is basically, you know, a very kapha type of energy here, because kapha is technically mud if you really think about it, because it's a combination of prithvi, bhuta, with the water element.
Yeah,
And
water and earth.
exactly. And this is what you have. The dry plot of land is now wet.
Yeah.
Now it can manage any type of subsequent growth that we're going to see in the following developments.
Yeah, we can, in the reading of or about people with this this card, so the two of diamonds, we can see that to see and understand what's the value of the plot, they need to experience what this new thing they found in the ace through what they feel about. So the water here represents the feeling part. So
Exactly.
it's the two in the sense of the hearts. Okay, it's the water element, the hearts.
The emotions, yes.
Yeah, so the emotions. So two of diamonds, people and experiences will put us to face what we feel when we have found this new thing of value in the ace, and that's how we can choose to if we want to go with it or if we want to leave it behind, and it's only by trying. So it's very experimental, because also the two of diamonds is very changing card. I mean, if I feel good somewhere I go, I can move there and go with it completely. So it's very, it can change a lot of things. You know, we find it, for example, the two of diamonds for moving somewhere from a place to another.
Yep.
So then,
and it can also represent coming together with someone who makes you develop your skills. You know, this is also a type of education card, believe it or not, just like the two of clubs. It's where you come together with something or someone that helps you develop your own value as a person from a material point of view.
yes.
But obviously, you know, the emotions are there. The number 2 is always going to be a sort of emotional card just because of that binary element within the number.
And thank God, I would say, because otherwise we know that diamond suit, it's very materialistic. It's very concrete. So
Yes.
thanks God it has also this ability to connect, and through the number 2. And I would say, I would remind that the number 2 is linked to the moon as a planet. So the ability to connect and to receive in the same way that the land receives the water. It's very much feminine, that we wouldn't expect in something that is concrete and just materialistic and material. So that's good.
Yeah, and from there we move on to the 3, where the soil already is wet, it is already fertile, and you know, we see the idea that animals start to come in to give nutrients to the soil to make it more alive, because where there is water there is life. I also use another metaphor for this image. I sometimes use a human being just working the land, but I guess, you know, if you want to make it really naturey,
Yeah, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
That does make sense, because when you work the land, you make the air element at number 3 go through the land also. So we have the 3 elements.
Yeah. And in the 3, you basically, you know, in the 2 you came together with the water, but in the 3, you know, it's basically, you know, going through the hindrances, you know, going through the independent will, and, you know, going to work the land. You know, you have to, exactly, you have to put the time in to really get exactly. You have to fly apart from that idea of, you know, everything is gonna take care of itself. No, you have to really, you know, go there and put your bootstraps and really work the land.
Yeah, absolutely. So is the, if I'm not mistaken, is the training card also, isn't it?
Yes.
Where at the 2 you were studying something and you're acquiring new skills, and at the 3 you put it to practice, but it's the first time, so you're going to feel somewhat maybe uncomfortable, and it needs you to just keep on trying. Okay, it's a Mars card, so we're going to find this.
Yes.
Fine, then after we trained a little bit, a bit enough, I would say, we move on to the 4 of diamonds, and there is a different story. We move on to the queen domain.
Yes, because we are coming into the second nature cycle.
Yes.
And, you know, the number 4, you didn't draw it, but I usually depict it as, you know, plants start to grow, you know, you start to see things coming up in the ground, not in a very a significant way, but you start seeing that the ground per se is growing things.
Okay.
It's not an organized growth. It's not necessarily, you know,
yeah, the land is fertile.
Exactly.
That's the
exactly.
message of the 4. And I was trying to convey the visually and quickly the image that the land is ready, but
yeah, you have the 4 shades of gray there. Yeah.
Yeah, I just found that to be.
Yeah, but here you have security, merit, and stability in the potential that started in the 1, and you have that stability, that merit, and that security in terms of your value, your skills, and your material matters. You know, there is a balance here. There's the potential now is more present, and you start seeing, you know, greenery start to grow. You start to see things in a more stable manner in comparison to what that plot of land was in the number 1, a dry, just a potential. Here you start to see a new potential. You start to see that, hey, I can grow food here. I can grow plants. And all that hard work that went in the 3, going through the hindrances of the elements and, you know, flying apart from your comfort zone and having the independent will to work the soil. Now in the number 4, you have reached that stability where you can really see, you know, these skills, this value come forth.
Yeah, we can say, I would say that we move from the training phase, studying phase, to the I'm starting to do it now. I'm not studying anymore. I have reached a level good enough to start doing, which is the first stage of start doing something that it was new not long
Definitely.
ago. So you're not still the master of the subject, but definitely you have a security in yourself that you can do at least a little bit. Okay, there is something that I can do. It's not new anymore.
Definitely. And then we move on to the 5.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Yes, you know.
5.
Yeah, in the 5 you start seeing that. Well, in the 4 you reach a stability, you reach a security where things started to grow. But in the number 5 you realize not everything is going to grow in this ground. Not everything is going to be fruitful here. And it's going to be due to different types of situations. Maybe there are rocks on the ground like you draw. Maybe you have some seeds that don't work in the climate where you are. Maybe you have some tropical seeds and you are in a temperate climate and they don't work. Or maybe you have some temperate seeds that won't work in a tropical climate, and so on and so forth.
Well, we cannot grow mangoes, for example. That's really good, real big shame, but we cannot grow them.
And where I live, I can't grow apples or pears, for example.
See, we're gonna ship them.
Yeah, and I'm gonna send you avocados and mangoes.
Thank you, that's so nice.
But they're gonna get their spoiled. But whatever. The point is that here you fall in line, you fall in time. You know, you come to terms with what was not meant to be, and you fall in line with providence and divine order. I can grow this, but I cannot grow this, but I can grow this. And this is what I'm gonna grow. The other things you have to just let go. And this is where we start to realize, you know, what skills am I good at? You know, what is the quantity of money in terms of financial potential that I have in my life? You know, what's the value I give to myself realistically? And this is the crisis that comes in here in the 5 of diamonds.
Yeah, I agree totally. I mean, you said it beautifully.
Thank you.
Yes, always. I wonder if we can squeeze in another meaning for when, you know, we acquire new knowledge, we find something that we love, ace of, not love, that we value ace of diamonds. And then we go through the training phase, then we start doing it, and we hit a point where, okay, we felt secure at the 4, and at the 5 we find that, oh God, I need more study and more in-depth understanding of what I'm doing, acquire new knowledge, because I thought I was good enough, but there's so much more that I can do. So it's an improving, a realization that improving is needed. That's what the bottom line would be.
And then we move on to the number 6, where we have harvest, where we really reach that satisfaction, that fulfillment, that little victory in our skills, in our material stuff, and in our value, where in the 5 we saw, okay, these things don't grow, but these things do grow. And those things that do grow are growing, and they're being very fruitful. And in the number 6, this is the card where, you know, you're really reaching, you know, the highest pinnacle in terms of the development of your skills, of your value appraisal, and overall material matters. Here is where your business is doing better than ever. Maybe you are getting some employees to work that land to pick up those mangoes or pick up those apples in the 6. And this is a very satisfactory victory from a material point of view, specifically since, you know,
starting to sell also those apples.
Yes, definitely.
People want your apples, the fruits of the land.
Exactly. Exactly. Perfect. You very, very beautifully said.
I think encompasses all what you said, right? I mean, people want what you're, people can see what you're capable of, and they want it. Meaning that it's good enough. It's not good enough. It got to its best at this of its potential.
Yeah, this is the little victory that everybody wants in their life, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you know,
it's the night smooth sailing of what we can do with something.
Yeah, but afterwards, you know what comes, right? The number 7.
We always get to a 7.
Yeah, isn't it ironic that in life, you know, after the best thing starts, you know, the most difficult thing, or at least, you know, the thing that is kind of, you know, letting go of that. You know, once you eat your dessert, everything's over.
Yeah, in a way it is ironic.
Yeah.
But I always like to see it, because I cannot go down with something that is too bad. I have to find some idea that, you know, lifts me up somehow. Not fake one, like a good one. And whenever we accept the 7, then there is not the end of the cycle. There is something that opens up that is almost magical. And it is true, is not something that we aspire for usually, because we want the materialistic, we want the diamonds in life, right? Is what we think it makes us happy. But life within us has this dimension which is much broader than the futile and instant gratification that we get from the minute success of the 6. I say minute in comparison to what happens afterwards, because if we think at the 8 that we're gonna see after the 7, oh my, I would say, oh my.
Excellent. And you know, we have to, before we continue, we have to mention that that we're going to explain the last 3 numbers of this suit, and this is the 3rd destructive cycle. But however, this is not as the other cycles that we've discussed so far. This is a very different type of cycle, because for one matter, you know, as we said at the beginning of the video, the suit of diamonds is the ground where everything ends, right? The fruits, the seeds, and obviously the leaves, and everything is here. This is the repository of all that potential. So in a way, it is the destructive cycle, but it's not necessarily so destructive. And at the same time, you're going to see that many of the metaphors are, these last 3 ones, are very relatable to the first, especially the one of the clubs, the ace of clubs metaphor of the seed. But, in the 7, as I was saying, those 3s that were in the 6 giving fruits, those fruits fall to the ground.
Yes.
And you start seeing, and also, I'm sorry, not only to the ace of the ace of spades, but also to the 9 and the 8 of hearts, which also are seeds that are falling to the ground that I forgot. This is not something that is specifically shown, but it is something that I come to realize as I go on. But in the 7, those seeds are falling to the ground from the fruit, just continuing that cycle of life. But at the same time, there's a cycle of destruction, transformation, and letting go that entails the number 7 in terms of our material skill, of our set of our values and our material matters. And seeds fall to the ground. Some are gonna germinate, others not necessarily. Maybe some birds come and eat them.
Yeah.
And this is just survival of the fittest. This is just the cycle of nature,
Yeah.
of just letting the best candidates proceed and progress in life.
The selection, the natural selection.
Yes, that's exactly the 7 of diamonds. It is natural selection, without a doubt.
It is in a way is merciless. There is no compassion for those that are left behind, for the seeds that don't become a plant or anything. They're gonna die, basically. They're not gonna show any potential that they have. But that's how it works if we want to make sure that the tree that we are gonna have is the one that is strong, lucky as well, because it has to have the right timing, and that's how nature made its success on this planet. Okay, so it's also it is called the millionaire card, the 7 of diamonds, because
really?
Yeah, they say because millionaires, they try and fail many times, and then they hit the jackpot only once. And this is what happens with the 7 of diamonds. Out of all the trying, all the seeds, only
By the way, today is a 7 of diamonds day.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I hope this is a good seed then.
Yeah, I mean, this is the day we're gonna become millionaires.
Yeah. What? Yeah. I mean, are you?
Although I must say, for all the viewers, I'm a very rich man, and it's quite noticeable.
Oh, so, yeah, 61. I mean, you had the time.
Yeah. I have around $80 in my bank accounts. So yeah, I'm a very rich man. Continue. I'm sorry.
Accounts. Two accounts at least for 70.
I'm sorry, 3 accounts.
3. Okay, I don't want to know. It's too many, guy. My God.
I know. I'm a high roller. I'm a big.
You're in need of a 7 of diamonds or an 8 of diamonds.
Exactly.
Maybe an 8 of diamonds would be.
Yeah. And the 8 of diamonds is the perfect card to do things.
Absolutely. If you have goodwill, intention, and intensity, then there is no limit for the sky. The limit is the sky, they say, right?
Exactly. And the 8 is kind of like the ace of spades, and it is also kind of like the 8 and the 9 of hearts.
Yeah.
Obviously, the 8 is the 8 also, but here what we do is that we accept ourselves. We come into friendship with ourselves, and with serenity and independence, we face our skills, we face the value that we have and our material matters, and just things happen, and they happen because the seed is right there. So the seed is about to germinate and start growing as if it were the ace of spades.
I just had an image popped in my head. If basically the seed needs to realize that it is in the right place at the right time.
Exactly.
So if you just realize that, because 8s, we know that mirror on the outside what it is inside. So if the seed realizes its potential that is within, it can grow it without on the outside.
Exactly. And when this energy comes, it's like you think you're not ready, but you are. You think that you don't have the necessary skills, but you do have them. You
Yeah.
might think that you don't have the necessary money, but you do have it. It's just a card of just letting go, accepting with serenity, and assuming that independence to do whatever you want to do with your values and your skills.
Yeah, yeah, beautifully said. And you know what I love about this Eight of Diamonds?
What?
It's ecliptic card. It's a Seven of Diamonds.
Oh, really? Oh,
How ironic is that?
wow!
So
I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
they go through this. Yeah, they go. If what I've seen for the Eight of Diamonds, if they can get caught up in that Seven of Diamonds, so being either feeling judged or be judgmental. And if they're, because you know this, you discriminate what seed is good and what is not in the Seven of Diamonds. So this, here comes the judgment, not in the sense of the major arcana, but you know, when you decide, oh, these seeds are going to be tossed and only this one is going to become a plant or whatever is meant to be. So if they rise above that, and I think it's something that would happen after the Saturn maturation, more likely than not, when they hit that phase, and then seriously, the skies are the limit. Like we can see, I don't know, I follow the work of Sadhguru, and I think he is an eight of diamonds, and he has built anything on this planet, like things that you wouldn't believe, but not just that, people following also. But he had to go through a severe amount of being judged when he was little. This is just an example, but I have a fascination for this card, and the cards that I've drawn have this energy. I was heavily involved, the Eight of Diamonds, in the drawing of the cards. So I'm a student of this energy, and I like it a lot, but it's also restless. So it has to do a lot in the same way that the seed needs to do a lot to grow and become what it can become.
Definitely. You know, that was very beautifully said. Do you know Eight of Diamonds, people?
Personally,
Yeah.
my sister,
Ah,
my sister, she hasn't built an empire though.
I gotta see what my brother's card is. I don't know it. I gotta check it out.
When was he born?
I don't know. May 7th, I think. I don't know. I gotta check.
Oh, May 7th then is not an Eight of Diamonds.
No, he's like a club or a diamond. But yeah, and then afterwards we move into the 9, which is the last card in the destructive cycle.
Yeah.
And you know, once we accepted ourselves in the 8th, you know, in the 9th we come to that divine acceptance where we come into friendship with the whole, and we realize certain spiritual realization and finality in relation to our skill set, to our value, and our material matters.
Yes.
And this is represented by that seed being nurtured,
Yeah.
which is very interesting because it's a nurturing metaphor in a destructive cycle. So this is why this part of the metaphors are very different to the other suits.
Definitely.
And here the suit is receiving the influx of minerals and vitamins and all the good things a seed needs to grow from the ground, which, by the way, are a result of the hearts, the leaves, and
Everything.
the trees from the other ones that are just nurturing it. And, you know, I sometimes believe also that the 9 has a very similar energy to the 8 of diamonds. You know, it's more or less the same, although it is more of a spiritual context. It's more of
it is
it's
less
more abstract.
self-centered.
Yes. And although this is a very material suit, the 9 of diamonds, I believe it's the most spiritual, or let's say the least material of all these cards. Principally because you are being, you know, if in the 8 you think you're not ready, but you are, in the 9, you know you're ready, and you see how everything, you know, you kind of see it more clearly than in the 8th, I think. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'm thinking why you talk, and because my mom is a 9 of diamonds, so I have them both close hand, and yet there is no how to put this. There is no need to gather wealth, because wealth is there somehow. I don't know how to put this. There is no avidity. And if the cause is good, the resources are going to be given to others. Like you won't believe. This is not very present with the 8, because the 8 obviously needs to be focused on how it feels, and it feels how valuable and what is important for it to make it happen. So there is a self-centered experience, while for the 9th, this abundance is flowing through the person and is shared with no question other
Definitely.
than it is valuable. That's the only thing that we always encounter with the
Yes.
diamonds.
Yes.
Anyways, so this is my first-hand experience with the 9 of diamonds.
You know, I also I'm sorry, continue.
It's funny because sometimes it happens that I'm going personal, but my mom got blamed for being a person that was taking advantage of other people's wealth, which is like, oh God, you can say anything, but not this one, because it's so crystal clear from her that she can give to anybody that needs it, what she has, if she has it, obviously.
You know, I always see the 7th, the 8th, and the 9 of diamonds as the most tricky cards to interpret, because they are part of a destructive cycle, but at the same time, they're not.
Not because, you see, I think we get into the 7, 8 of diamonds and 9, and if you see in the 9, there is the experience of the 2 of diamonds, because there is, you see, there is water and there is plot of land, okay, and the minerals, plus the seed. It's like, okay, here, the diamond suit and the spade, so the start of the suits, the number 1 suit, are meeting, are together, like concrete. So life within is in the earth, and this is how, if you want, is the symbol of the embodied life. I don't know if I explained that good in a good way, good enough.
Try to do it better.
Try to do it better and edit this out. Okay, if we look at the image, we have the seed in the 9 of spades, in the 9 of diamonds. So it's the ace of spades, right?
Yes, yes.
And we have a plot of land with water and minerals. So we have the 2 of diamonds, basically.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, yeah.
So it's a 2 of diamonds plus an ace of diamonds.
So it's a very good potential card, without a doubt. I would say even better than the 8 of diamonds. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you are materialistic and you aim for concrete stuff and having wealth and building a lot of things, then you go for the 8, because there is also the potential for accumulation. Where with the 9, there is no accumulation really, because there is a flow of abundance that comes and goes, comes and goes.
And that's the spiritual realization. Yeah.
Yes, it's highly spiritual realization. This is why it's not greedy at all. It's not like I'm the king, I'm the boss, and I have it all, so I'm on top of the chain. There's nothing of that with this card.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, then we move on.
We have the 10 of diamonds, which is the escalation of everything. It's basically the patience and the endurance to support, to go through all the skills, all the value, and all the material matters that we discussed through this metaphors.
Would you say that since it is encompasses any type of land, would you say that at the end of the day, the 10 of diamonds is planet Earth?
That's a very nice way to put it. Yeah.
So
probably
anything can
Earth
happen
in its simplest depiction. Yeah.
I thought if I had to draw that any type of land, what would I do? Then I would do like planet Earth. That's everything is there at different stages. You have dry land and you have
different climates. Yeah, the different weathers. Yeah.
Different weathers. You have everything.
Yeah, that's true. I would say it. Yeah.
Do you know 10 of diamonds people?
No, I don't.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I don't know a lot of diamonds people. I don't know why.
Okay, I attract them as honey. With the bee.
I attract more club people.
Really?
Clubs and hearts. Yeah.
So you have fun.
Not a lot of spades and not a lot of diamonds.
Okay. I attract more of anything diamonds people.
Yeah.
Like crazy. I don't know. I always thought about this. I don't know if it's because of the Queen of Clubs tends to inspire others to grow.
Well, diamonds are adults. I see diamonds as adults, spades as very old people or wise people. Hearts are children, and clubs are students. They're like teenagers in a way, maybe young adults. So yeah, maybe I'm just hanging out with children and students and not a lot of adults and old people.
Well, we have to take in account something that I'm fascinated about.
Yeah.
Clubs are multi-dimensional.
Yes.
So they connect multi-levels at once.
They're
and they come up with this new things that they say to you.
True.
While diamonds, in spite of the complexity that they bring to life, they are monodimensional. So they might lack in inspiration. Because if I'm a plot of land, I'm just a plot of land, very specific. Okay? So if the club can bring a lot of new inspiration to the diamonds. And I see, I don't know if it's because of the teacher type of energy that the Queen of Clubs has. I see that diamonds come and want to know. Very specific things, but they find inspiration. And that's what is my...
Because they're more practical, yeah.
Okay, then we move on to the face cards, Jack, Queen, and King.
Yes, and these are very easy. Jack represents the first creative cycle 1 to 3. The Queen represents the second nature cycle from 4 to 6, and the King represents the last destructive cycle from the 7 to the 9. The Jack of Diamonds is like the salesman.
Yeah, a little Peter Pan also.
Yeah, very true, very true. This is the young entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's very passionate, very living in the moment and enjoying the moment. It's not that projected into the future and making things happen in the future. It's not like now. Look how valuable you are, and look how life is valuable. It's connected to this, in my experience at least.
True. And the Queen of Diamonds would be the manager, would be the
one that has it.
I'm sorry?
The one that has it for all. If you need something, go to that one. It's very highly knowledgeable and very much giving. Very much.
Yeah. And I believe it or not, I also see the Queen of Diamonds like some sort of like this type of stereotypical psychic woman, this type of person who is able to give you what you need when you need it, in terms of not only inspiration but of practical knowledge that you might need. I'm obviously thinking of a very efficient, highly efficient, highly skilled. I'm not talking about. I'm just thinking about this type of counselor.
Yeah, it certainly is a master on its field.
Yes, Yes.
Yeah, so you
Where
could
she's able to nurture what you need to really develop your skills, your value, and your material things.
yeah, they're going to give you the right advice, the
Exactly.
materialistic direction. If you don't know how to navigate the field of the material world, they're gonna take you from A to Z.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they are stuck in this 4, 5, 7, so they always better themselves. I feel secure. I improve in the 5. Oh, jackpot at the 6. And then they go back and they improve that level. So they become these people that you go to them and you go like, oh my God, I'm never going to be like this. And you're right. Okay, then the king, which is very interesting because it is not so destructive. It's like the good father, isn't it?
Just going back to what we said, that the 7, 8, and 9 are destructive but are not that destructive.
Yeah.
That also carries on to the king of diamonds. And you know, the king of diamonds, I sometimes see it as this businessman that made millions, right? And now is retired and becomes like a philanthropist, or somebody who's just like a figure in their own field, you know, a person who just invests maybe, or somebody who is seen upon as someone who is rich, right? Or someone who is very capable at what they do or did, but is now, you know, in another dimension in terms of his knowledge.
He's not competing anymore.
Exactly. He's in another place. He achieved what he had to achieve. Yeah.
He's already done the 4, 5, and 6 already.
Actually, I sometimes associate it to the I think it's the 10 of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite Tarot. I don't know if you know that card.
No, I'm not.
It's basically the card where
I mean, I know the card. Yeah, we all do.
I think I have it here, but it's basically the card where there's like a family and there's an old man and there's a dog and he's just like sitting there. I'm just looking for it to show you. Here it is. You know, it's the idea of, can you see it? Let me see. I can't see myself.
Yeah, we do something. Look, I stopped.
No, don't worry. Don't worry. No, don't worry.
Let's do this. We can do this. It's fine. Yeah.
So you see, I sometimes associate it to that guy over there.
Right.
He just made millions, and you see his family, they're all fighting for his money, or maybe, you know, they're thinking, what are we going to do when he dies? No, he's in another dimension. He sees material wealth and all this type of skills and value from another perspective. So you see, the 7, the 8, and the 9 of diamonds, including the king of diamonds, are cards that are not necessarily so destructive or let's say, you know, that Shiva energy as the other kings might do in the other suits.
It is funny, because it's very ironic, because we're talking about something concrete, and if you would associate the destruction of something concrete to something violent or something very self-evident in the material world, where it doesn't come across like this at all. It just, the king of diamonds is capable of selecting what is worth from what is not.
Exactly.
I makes the decision based on my wealth of knowledge.
Exactly.
And wealth also, what is going to be valuable and what is not. So it's funny, because we can deal with this much easier than with the difficulties that come from the inside, when we have to choose this from the inside. Like when we talk about emotions or ideas, it seems like the ego can be, well, no, I'm saying something not that wise, because we can be caught up in the ego paradigm also with material stuff. But I don't know. I think it's easier to digest.
Really, really, really nicely put. So I think we finished, right?
Yeah, I think we're done with the images of nature. Hope this is inspiring to people to get to know better the cards of truth.
And once again, this is an excellent way of understanding the meaning of the cards from a very natural, organic perspective.
Agreed. Totally. Yeah. But the journey doesn't end in here. We're gonna the next phase, and we're gonna present it soon.
Yes.
So I thank you. It's always a great pleasure to connect with you. And I'll see you for the next video.
Ciao, Silvia. Ciao.
Hasta luego.
No, arrivederci. Arrivederci.
Ciao.
You can say ciao as goodbye too, también.
Yes,
Yeah?
we use it for both.
Yeah. Ciao. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao, caro. See you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.